There will be a discussion that is going to take place in St. Louis, as I said, the last weekend in March, which is right before the GPUSA Coordinating Council meeting. It was put together for convenience purposes so people could, be there, not have to travel to 2 meetings. I'd like to very much recommend that California and volunteer to do it if people think that's all right for me to be a representative from this body to that meeting. That we send a representative to that meeting. This is not a decision-making body whatsoever. There will be no decisions made except through the same kind of process that we use here, where a proposal may develop for process and for agendas for future meetings. That's all that's going to happen there. I think you want to. Yeah. In a sense, that's a proposal. We'll get back to that in just a second. I think Sue needs to talk about the gathering itself for a minute before we get back to that issue. Okay.
In regard to the roundtable, that evolved over proposals made in Albuquerque for more coordination among various green groups, GPN and Green Party USA, and the state parties. So there's been some discussion about citing the roundtable, and the choice was made for the end of March to avoid the California primary. So that date has been set. We need representation. I think Lloyd would be great to go to the roundtable. My second point here is in regard to the gathering, the national gathering, which will occur in Los Angeles. Now, Mike, confirm the dates for me. 15th through the 19th. We've reduced it to 5 days, right? I had it 6 days, we're up to 5 days. It will take place in 3 parts. There will be an educational, and our plenary, the national plenary, and the convention, which we've never done a convention before. So that's basically Mike's thing. And I was a little confused about whether you want to do it in Oakland or in LA from that last discussion. So you should respond. But right now, this has been our difficulty. And the difficulty has been the national plenary, Green Council agreed to have the gathering in California in Los Angeles. Mike came before, the National Congress of Green Party USA. Mike came to that meeting, and it wasn't agreed that he necessarily would be the convener, but of course he's become the convener. And there was an oversight committee set up and from the national and a local one. We're really one committee, of which Ed Shepard is one person, Nancy Boyles, Nancy here, myself, and Will Yeager were appointed in South Bend. And what we basically are saying that Mike needs to work with a committee. And we need to have, we'd like to suggest that Lloyd Strecker be nominated to assist in that committee from the state. And we'd like to recommend that someone from the Women's Caucus select a person. I've asked several people here, but everyone's pretty busy. And Mike has great visibility, does a great job in terms of energizing other people. What I'm concerned about here is the money. We asked Mike for a budget. We got a budget of $150,000. Then we have another budget of $30,000. And we had some dispute over UCLA, and only because of the costs there. And so far, we've not been able to get any kind of clear accounting of what it's going to cost us at UCLA. And that is, and I'd like to say this because Mike went to the floor yesterday, I wasn't here, to badmouth the Green Party USA. Now, I'd like to just say the reason that's happening is that Don and other people back there have been nagging Mike to give him the real money, what the account is. Now, this is what we learned. Our oversight committee went to UCLA and learned that the breakout rooms at Griffin Hall were going to be like $1,200 a day, and that there will be costs to Ackerman, and we need that in writing, or we need some accounting. We can get lower cost accommodations, not for everyone, but we'd like to know ahead of time what it is we're looking at. Now, those are the issues ahead. The other one has to do with we do not want the convention replacing the national plenary. The national plenary is extremely important. We'd like it 2.5 to 3 days, and we'd like it to be the center of the meeting and of the Congress and the gathering, and we invite you all to participate. You just simply need to form your own local, should become a national local. You can be a delegate to that plenary. And so those are my main concerns, and I hope that you understand we are stating this in a cooperative way. We want to work with Mike. He was also not supposed to be putting out any brochures until he worked with our committee. The point is, he should be working, it should be a committee work as well as his work. Thank you.
The process. At the Northridge meeting that we had last September, we already approved, this plenary body already approved a committee to send, to deal with sending people to other green groups for cooperation and coordination, and we ratified it already. So I believe that the process we set up was for that committee to talk amongst themselves and either select primarily from themselves or another person if for some reason they themselves can't go. So we've already dealt with this, and I don't think that we need to be changing it, especially because this proposal was not in our agenda packet, and our local didn't even get a chance to talk about this.
My concern is this. Most people who go from California should not be aligned either strongly for or against Greens Party USA, for or against Green Politics Network, or any of the other bodies external to California. I'm much too partisan to be objective. So is Lloyd, so are you, so are most of the people involved. I would like at least half the people we send to not be really biased one way or the other. And the rest can be coming from all over the spectrum. But this is an old partisan fight that's been going on, and we need some of the people going in with open minds and some freshness from the party. And I'm fine with Lloyd being part of that committee as long as there's some people who aren't on one side or the other.
My concern is that I'm confused. And I guess I'm confused because it seemed to me that the agenda item was used as a way to kind of surreptitiously bring in a whole other agenda item, which is what's going on in organizing of LA National Convention. I've been involved with the Green Party for about a year, and I've been hearing this stuff about Green Party USA and all this kind of stuff, and it's really quite baffling to me that there's all this friction between us, between them. If I could finish. And then, to take the microphone, from what I see, Mike is working really hard on this convention. There's a lot of stuff that's coming down over this next year. The Nader candidacy, the convention, trying to make a show, trying to make a splash so that we look like a party that deserves support from people in this country. And this type of squabbling cannot be happening. It needs to end. And it needs to, if the Green Party USA needs to withdraw, because they're not even here organizing this thing. They're I don't know where they are.
I'm sorry, we are here and we are organizing, and I have been organizing it. I mean,
It's not uncommon with national organizations that don't have a very strong national structure that the local group organizes the national convention. That's not uncommon. Yeah, I just, my concern is that this type of squabbling makes us look really amateurish, makes us look unprofessional. It's got to stop. Mike Feinstein is working very, very hard on this convention. We need to try and support him and the other people who are doing this and not keep bashing this kind of stuff.